use the neon effect for text, photos, and videos. Colored neon tubes, like the ones you see in light-up signs, were invented back in 1909 and still draw people's attention. In this video, I'll show you how to use the cool neon glow for text or title animations and even pictures. The special effect you need to do this is available in VideoVision and Stages. I'm choosing Stages for this because it lets you animate the effect more easily, but I'll also show you a quick version that you can copy with VideoVision. I'm going to start with a text object. First thing I'll do is make it last 10 seconds. Then I'll make the letters bigger, center them, and bold them. And they should definitely have an outline. I'm picking my neon color for the outline. I already picked out these colors from the Named Colors palette and saved them as my own palette. And for the font itself, I'm going with the color I just chose. So, doing this though, I'm just going to temporarily set the opacity to 0% again. That way you can only see the outline in the layout designer. This has the advantage that we can see the effects better when adjusting them. Now we can use the overshining effect. I drag it from the toolbox right onto my text object. In the properties, I can now adjust the settings for the effect. The light type setting emphasizes bright areas of the image, in this case the contours. If I also change the radius, it results in a larger color glow around the contour. With the strength slider, I can now see in which area my effect should play approximately. The strength should probably be between 200 and 900. In Stages, I can then animate the strength with a curve, that is, change the effect setting over time and thus simulate the flickering that a neon tube can have when it is switched on or when it is already a bit decrepit. Here, I could now set my curve manually, but I'm going to make it easy on myself and have a curve generated. I'll enter the number of oscillations. You can comfortably go with 20 oscillations at 10 seconds here, and then I can adjust the area in which the effect should move. So about 200 as a minimum for the lighting effect. You can also delete markers and add your own markers. I'll play it once. And you can see how the brightness now changes due to our curve setting. If you want, you can also add some opacity to the text. Now the inside of the letters is also lighting up. And so the effect doesn't flicker for so long. I'll change the curve and remove the markers here at the end, so a brightness is maintained for a longer time. This curve setting for effects is only in Stages. However, in VideoVision, you can manage differently. I will show you that directly in VideoVision. I also have the text object here and drag the glowing effect onto it. For this effect, I select a relatively low effect strength. Next, I duplicate the entire effect, place it under the first effect, and set a relatively high effect strength. Then, the lower effect receives the object effect transparency fluctuation. It's best to close it, then it updates better. Glowing now lies in transparency fluctuation, and this effect ensures the stronger effect is sometimes seen more or less. You can influence how strongly and how often the second glowing effect overlays the first in the transparency fluctuation settings. This is one variation you could work with in VideoVision, but in Stages it is easier, clearer, and directly influenceable. I am back in Stages now. The effect is basically complete and may of course still be expanded and varied. I find the text alone too bare, so I'll create a neon tube from a dynamic rectangular shape. I insert the rectangle and increase its duration to 10 seconds right away. I also use the same green color that I used for the text. Now I can make a line from the rectangle in the layout designer, or I can use the manual input to help. My rectangle is now very narrow, and I'm going to place it here below the text And then I'm going to copy the rectangle again and set the line above the text. Both rectangle shapes are then included in the shining effect, so they receive the same fluctuation of light intensity as the text. It looks like this. But it can be a little better. In fact, I'm going to layer this effect one more time. Again, I'll copy the entire shining effect, put it below the first one, and choose a larger effect strength here too to get a greater glow of light. And I don't want it for the text, but only for the two rectangles. That's why I'm removing the text object here with the second shining effect. And when you layer them together, it looks like this. If you don't want just two lines but want a complete border, you're in luck. I have the text object with the shining effect here again. To frame the text, I'm using a contour created by an image effect. I'll insert some kind of picture here. This can be a background image. Adjust the duration. Next, I'm going to highlight the text and copy the size of the dropout frame. Then I move to the image and insert the size of the dropout frame via fade paste. The image and text are initially the same size, but I want the frame to overhang, so I'm going to drag the image at one corner with the Shift and Alt key pressed. This retains the aspect ratio and the center point. When I change the order in the tracks here, you can see that the image is now a bit larger than the text. Of course, you shouldn't see the image but a contour, so I go into the image editor. I go to the Effects tab. Using the plus, I can add a contour effect. For the settings, I use the contour from both sides, inside and outside. I'll use 0.1 as the thickness and the green of the text as the color. With an area of 0%, I make the image invisible. In the Layout Designer, now you only see the outline of the image that's no longer there. The contour could be included in the overshining effect, but I want to give the contour its own overshining effect. With a bit more light intensity, both of these effects together would look like this when played. Since we have a program from AquaSoft, we can do more with this construct, such as animate it. There would be the option to set specific text effects here, but in this case I want to rotate it. And for that, I'll put both overlay effects in a flexi layer and animate them. I'll select the flexi layer, open the manual input and add a marker in the motion path mode. I'll place the second marker directly above the first. I'm setting the time value to 10 seconds. As long as the object lasts, it should rotate. And with rotation on the y-axis, I'm now setting the end position. This makes the object rotate once by 360 degrees, and when played, it looks like this. To make sure photos and videos match the neon font, you can apply the overshining effect to your images. I've prepared some pictures with camera pans, where you can easily drag on the overshining effect and pick the right settings and curves. Based on the subject, you can adjust or animate the curve to synchronize with the music and apply other effects like color effects or loots. I'll show my finished result in full again, and there will also be a VIP project available. If you liked the video, a thumbs up would be appreciated.